Is it working? Is it working? I think it is. I'm doing something productive. Stream announcements. Boop. Reworking. Power stock. Exclamation points. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ro. You don't think it's working? That's unfortunate. Let me... Where's the pop out chat button? Get out of my way. Pop out. We make it big. There we go. I announced it. Everything should be good. Oh, hello, everybody. I assume you can hear me. Wait. Yeah, you can. Greetings, Satsu's Iron Man add-on news. I assume you're doing an Iron Man add-on, but that's just a guess. Simon, how are you doing? My day has been great. Actually, that's not true. I've been slacking today. But we're gonna be prepared to actually do things today. We're gonna do some interesting things, I hope. It's complete. You have 2 videos on it. I kind of want to see it. Let me click on your user thing. Go to channel. Oh, that looks cool. Guys, make sure you check out Satsu's Iron Man add-on. I don't actually know if it's cool, but this thumbnail looks cool, and these suits look pretty good. Wait. Let's see here. Looks like high quality video. Yeah, okay. That might get me copyrighted. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there's the pictures of the... Oh, look at that upgrade tree. I didn't even know you could change the color of those lines. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to color the lines differently. No one tell them that I'm going to take that idea. Oh, the armor bracelet for the Mark 7? This looks pretty cool. Big beefy armor. Boop, boop, boop. Well done, well done. I just lost my chat. I don't know where it went. Come back. Boop. There it is. Hello, Star Fury. Okay, so today, well, it's been a while actually since I've posted a video or done a live stream. The reason for that is I've been working a lot on getting the I've basically been reworking everything, like from the ground up, which is good because it means things are now a lot more performant. The things are now a lot easier to use and people can expand on them a lot more. However, it does mean that I take a while, or it takes me a lot longer to get the things to make progress, because all this time I've been working, haven't actually made anything too new, except for some of the things you've seen in the teasers. Like I've reworked stuff to make it look new, but in terms of fully new powers and stuff like that, there isn't too much. But we're getting to the point. We're almost to the point where I can work on the new stuff. But I guess this is still technically new stuff, because power stock is what we're working on today. Before, it was kind of junk. There wasn't much to do with it. Yes, it had the power scaling stuff and like the full cowl ability and all that, but the smash ability didn't really work too well. The jumping, I got a lot of comments about my jumping. Apparently people don't like just jumping straight into the air. Don't know why they don't like that, but so today I'm going to be reworking power stock, and also going to be changing it so it uses the new body system that I have or that I created, because that's going to be something that's going to be real useful. So let me go here, and let me show you the change, or what we have for power stock right now, because it's good, but also kind of not. And you'll see in a second. Okay. Time set day. Burn all of these. Oh, weather clear. Oh, clear. All right. Bye, zombies. Yeah, take that. All right. So, 1 million power stock jump sent me to space. That's that. Yes, it does do that. So, right now there's 4 abilities. There's the full cowl ability, which if you hold it, it activates the full cowl animation, and it does that. That's pretty cool, right? Scoreboard objectives, remove, set display, sidebar. And so that's pretty cool. This scales up your health, your strength, your speed, all of that. It scales it based on your level of power, and then you can scroll, wheel it around. The scrolling, the percentage increase, gonna have to change that or whatever. So that's great. I did rework the jumping ability. So before, kind of like Cryptic said, you just go up into the air, and that was lame. But I've actually redone it so that now it's more of an actual leap. So if I do this and hold the ability, it charges up, it does some random stuff. It apparently lets me go to that, and then if I let go, it jumps up forward and then loses its momentum and falls down. Hold on a second, I gotta sneeze. Okay, I'm done sneezing. So that is, it does not scale correctly. It also, it's not perfect, you know? I just kind of threw it together real fast. Devmon, you've seen him in the server. He actually gave me part of a script that allowed me to get this working, because I didn't know how to apply movement to the player, because apparently you need special packets for that, which I didn't know. So he showed me how to do that, so that I was able to get this leap ability going. And I think, what I assume is it's better than the other one, right? You guys don't like... it seemed like you didn't like the just jumping straight into the air, and this one actually gives you some direction, and you can actually use it multiple times, which I think is pretty cool. Boo! 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 See, isn't that fun? I didn't realize how satisfying this was. I do not like that it spams my chat. It's very annoying. Very annoying. Whee! Sorry, I'm getting distracted by how fun this is. Hello, Lost Trick. Can't wait to release a single punch and vaporize my limbs. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. The limb vaporization today. I think there should be more lightning effects the further up in percentage you go, especially at 100%. Good idea. I'll probably add that. Today for everyone that just joined in, we're reworking power stock to use all of my new systems. Will you be able to go above 100% when you add stuff like Fajin and Gear Shift? Yes. Except it's not going to be above 100%, it's just going to be 100% with the addition of those. Just got here. What have we done so far? Literally nothing. This is all that's changed of power stock right now is this leap ability. You can now leap in any direction because again, you actually wanted the leap to leap, and so now it does. If I set my quirk factor, set my look at all these scoreboards. Mine ha.quirk factor. If I set it to 3 or 2, this should go farther, I think. Pew! Oh yeah, that goes way farther. Pew! I think. Ow. 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 Pow. Custom lightning colors for full cowling to make it unique to how you'd like. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know how to do that. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay, so we're going to be working on that. And I did think that I wanted this to have a cooldown. Because right now you can spam it, but actually it seems kind of interesting that you can spam it. Because it gives you more movement. Maybe add some poses? Maybe. I'm not opposed to adding like custom animations and stuff. I just need to make sure that the actual functionality. I'm gonna go straight up into the air real quick and see how high this goes. Pew. So that like 60 blocks. If I set the quirk factor to 3, does it go higher? Let's find out. Pew. It does not. So quirk factor is not actually changing that. Whoops. If I do scoreboard objective, no, players set my NHA dot power stock. So you can see here we have a lot of power stock scoreboards. We need to change these. And we're going to use my new body system. Boop, 1,000,000. Let's see how far we go. Oh, wait, my body is breaking because I accidentally did that. Uh-oh. I think this is going to be bad. Pew. What? It only went up. Okay, so this is clearly not taking... Oh. Uh-oh. I lost a leg. It's worth it. We don't need limbs. We don't need limbs. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be reworking this completely to use the new body system. What is the... Oh, hold on. Chat messages. Sorry. I like how the smashes actually destroyed blocks. Yes, they're going to destroy blocks. I think I'm actually going to even... you've seen my decay ability. Or at least the teasers of the ability. I'm going to just kind of repurpose that into a smash. So it does the same sort of damage, except it actually does damage instead of just decaying stuff away. Early Air Force propulsion, that's exactly what it is. Why does it keep saying hello world? I don't know. Probably because I did it wrong. No, I think I just threw together the ability really fast, so I didn't really pay attention. You can always change the lightning color by having different accessories that correspond to different render layers. Oh, well, then I'll probably do that. Wouldn't be very useful with a cooldown. That's what yeah. I didn't really think about that. I did kind of think about it, but I didn't. Oh. There goes my legs. Help me! I've blasted off my legs. Ah, yes, just the legless corpse flying around in the air. Okay, so actually this is way more... This is way better than I actually thought it was. I thought I was working on it yesterday. I thought I ended with it not working at all, but guess I was wrong. Let's pull this up. Also, yes, I was playing Bloons TD6. I was getting distracted, but we'll ignore that. But yeah, here's the leap ability. That's great. You asked why it was doing Hello World. I'm pretty sure it's because of this guy. There's a command in here. Palladium command. One of these. I'm guessing it's the trigger for the cooldown. Yeah, this one. In Palladium, if you don't... Oh, by the way, can you see this? I don't really want to make it bigger. There. If you use the command ability in Palladium, if you don't have an empty commands, like commands and then do this, it'll say hello world. It just spams it. So that'll fix that problem. That one has something in commands. That one does not have something in commands. Commands. Boop, 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 boop. Commands. Commands. Okay, so that actually should fix the hello world issue. Reload. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Pew! Yep. We have to get rid of that because that's annoying. Oh, wait a second. Is that the right one? Power leap? Wait. This might actually be the wrong leap ability. Hold on. But it works. No, it is the right one. Weird. Oh, I must have got rid of the test one. There goes the leg. Yep. Let's see. I think a cool system for that leap would be you have to be touching a block, like not standing on the ground, but a block on any side of you. The problem with that is that Deku can do it without. He can just do it in the air. So I'm not going to make that a requirement. Who needs legs when you can punch air to fly? Exactly. Definitely should make rewind to recovery girl. Well, the problem is those only work in multiplayer. Yeah, fix the Hello World issue. Okay. All right. So here's kind of the deal. I have all of this stuff, and this I'll use as the scoreboard. So I think the first step is to change it to not use scoreboards. And you may be asking, how are you going to do that? Well, I've added in, excuse the legless, I've added in these things that I actually haven't named, but I'll call them, I don't know, statuses, I guess. But basically you can set different values and you can assign them to body parts. So for example, I have the body command here that I added, and I say to me, and I'm going to set, and I'm going to set it to a float, and we give it the name or what body part it's going to be. So the body part is going to be the chest, which I think is a body part that I registered. Hold on. That'd be embarrassing if it wasn't. So, where did I put the body capabilities? Body part. Chest is a body. So we're going to do chest. We give it a key. In this case, the key is going to be power stock stored. And we give it a value. And the value we're just going to set to 100. So this is how we're going to be able to track what power level the person is at. Also, this is annoying me that I can't jump. Body, this, heal, all. Whoop. And then just float out of it. Wait a second. Oh, I was flying in creative. But now if I do /body me debug, I think. Not debug. Get custom statuses? No. Get float. Body part name, chest, and then power stock underscore stored. So there we can see it's set to 100. So the benefit of using this over the scoreboards is that capabilities run faster. They're not constantly being checked. Also, we don't have to use commands. We can work this in directly to actual abilities. So, for example, we'll do that now. We need to make a new ability. This one is going to be, because right now how we increment the stockpiled energy is down here. Where is it? It's all the full cowl stuff. Here we go, passive growth. Right now it's just a command, and it runs this scoreboard add command. We're actually just going to replace this with a custom ability that adds it. And then it does everything directly through the capability, which will be pretty cool. So I'm going to come up here, come to this, cube.js, new file. We're going to do power underscore stock underscore abilities. And I'm going to stick all these in here because that's what I need to do. Let's see. I think this is an ability. Yeah. So I'm just going to pull this over here because I don't remember. Startup events dot registry. And pull 80. Get out of my way. Palladium abilities and event. This is just if I hide this, the event is just you're giving the name of the variable. So it's basically saying I want to register something with this, and it's passing inside the actual event that gets called whenever the abilities are being registered, I guess. 4. So we're just going to shove all of the power stock in here. So the first one is going to be the passive growth. So if we do event.create, and then we give it a name. So this is going to be mineHA. I'm going to use pstock because it's easier, I guess. Pstock underscore growth. And this will just be the growth of the power. Or yeah, the growth of the stored energy. Hold on. Sorry, I have chat on my... I moved it to a different spot, so I'm not usually looking at it. If you have a... I already said that. How will you implement quirks that change the appearance? You just add, like, render layers on top of the player. They're not too bad, I think. What with the system of having wanted to ask, with the system of having a mod portion to your Palladium add-on, is it possible to use that to change player FOV with an ability or something? Yes, you can. Basically, you can do anything with Java. So like here, I've made a few abilities. Let's see. There's like the rod ability, right? So I'm registering an ability here, just like I register an ability right here inside of the cube.js. So in this I'm using like this event.create or whatever, but this one I actually make a class and it has access to all of the regular Minecraft stuff as well. Cube also has that, but it's just really hard to use. So this is how I keep track of, they're registered the same way. So if I wanted to do something with FOV, I could just do it in here. I'd make a custom ability, I'd register it, and then everything would be good. How to extract a .jar file? You just use like 7-zip and open it up. I thought about it, but I understand pretty much nothing about the actual mod side of it. Well, the only reason you would do the mod side is if you wanted to have more capability that is not as easy to do in Cube. The reason I'm doing it is because I wanted to add a lot of custom stuff that you couldn't do with just Cube. So the config system, I added a full configurable, like you can, I guess here's a spoiler for the next devlog for everyone that's here. But there's now a config system. So if I go into config, we now have a bqlcommon.toml file. If I open this guy up, here we can configure pretty much everything about the stamina that you would want to. So the exhaustion levels, if you didn't like the level of stamina that you have, or that the current exhaustion levels are, you can go here and change it. If you want the regeneration rate for the stamina to be faster or slower, you can change it. You can change the re-enable percentage, how much stamina you get whenever you get like an increase or max increase. You can set the thresholds for the max increase. You can you can change the upgrade point cost. You can lower it, make it higher, whatever. So you can do all this stuff now because I set it up. Basically, I added in Java stuff. I added in config things, and I also made it possible for you to register config items with your cube.js as well. So I don't think I have an example of it, although maybe I have an example in here. I think I made an config example. So like you can now, because my mod is a dependency, you can use this config thing here. So like this config.setConfig, you add in your identifier, you give it a value, and you give it description or whatever, and then this will register it automatically inside of there's a dynamic configs folder. So if we go in here, config, there's a BQL folder, and so if we go into the BQL folder, we have this dynamic configs.json, and inside of this it will just list all of the config values that you register with your mod. So like you go into a cube.js script, you add in like config.set config, I think it was, or whatever. You register it at the start, and then you can use config.get. I think it's .get. Let's see if it's .get. I forget the thing. No, that's config template. Where is it? Config.log log. Where is it? I know it's .get something. Oh, no, there it is. So here's max values, but you can also get your custom values with sorry, there's a lot of examples here for me to get the other non-config stuff. Here we go. There it is. So you would put like this inside of your cube. You set a variable equal to the get config of that same thing that you registered up here, the same key that you registered. So that allows you to generate config files, and then people can go through and change them while you're playing, or while they're playing in a server or whatever. So that's something you couldn't do in regular Cube, because Cube has restrictions on the things that you can, on the scope. It has restriction on the classes that you can access. And one of the classes you need for config is all of the like file classes. So doing file operations of making new config files, reading them, all that stuff, you can't do in regular Cube. You have to have something that basically babies it along, which is what the library does. So that's just two really important or cool things that the Java mod can do. Thanks, Ani, for I think you're re-subscribing, right? As a Swamp Puppy. And you sent out a gift. Good job. I appreciate it. Let's see. I'm still super new to JavaScript, trying my best to understand all of this. I want to do it for my speedsters and have a similar effect to what Fisk's hero has, which is changing dynamically as you move. Are you talking about the electricity stuff behind, or the FOV? How did I learn all this? I know Java from just learning Java a while ago. And a lot of it is just guessing and Googling, you know, and eventually it works. Chat dead. No, they're just all listening intently. They're all listening intently. Yeah, thanks again, Ani, for doing the gift and resubscribing yourself. I appreciate it. If you ever get a gift membership as well, you will get a special role in the Discord. You just have to let me know what that, if you have it, because I don't have I don't have like a bot that automatically gives you a role, so just send me a message and I can give you the Discord role. Will you have to pass your quirk on to another person each time you want to add another quirk to power stock, or will there be a version of it with all of Deku's quirks? I haven't confirmed nor denied if I'm going to add in the original one for all. It's definitely a possibility. I'll say that. All right, we need to finish this, or actually start it, you know. So when you create an event like this, you can see I have an example over here. Sorry. You have to define all of these values. So an icon, property, etc. The icon doesn't really matter. It never matters. So I'll just do icon. Then you do palladium dot create item icon, which just obviously it turns an item texture into an icon texture that you can use. And we'll just do Minecraft bone meal. Is bone meal is that the item register? Is that give me bone meal? It is. So we have bone meal, and then the properties are the they're the fields that you can put in here. So type here is a property, name is a property, description, all of these are properties. So if you want custom ones, you have to define them specifically. So let's think. So for power stock, we want let's see. What do we want? We want the amount of power to grow. I would say we need some sort of like tick value, but I already have a condition that allows us to tick randomly, so we don't really need that. We could pass in a max value and just not let it go over the max, but yeah, we'll do that actually. Okay, so we'll have increase amount, and this is going to be, it does string here all of the time. I want it to not be a string. I want it to be an integer. So we're going to try integer, but I think it's going to get mad. It usually gets mad with this. You denied adding the original O1 for all multiple times. Well, maybe I changed my mind. You don't know. Is it possible to do the FOV thing with just cube, or would I need to do it with a mod? I have no idea. I think it would be. Yeah, I mean, you can always try because it's going to be easier in Java because you can actually understand and see some of the stuff. So like if I went to this routability, for example, and let's just see if there's anything with the player FOV. So wait. Yeah, so server player, we get an instance of that. So if I do player dot, I don't know, is there an FOV thing? There's not. This will actually be a camera display thing. So like if you had Java, you could better see what the stuff was. But it's possible that it's also just exposed here. So like if I actually did a Control-Shift-F for FOV and looked inside of the cube files, we can see if there is anything related to that. There's options. Here's a set FOV here. And this is inside the world scene renderer. So you technically have access to a set FOV function that you could use. So you would just have to figure out how to get a world scene renderer. I don't know how to get that. You would have to, again, just probably do a Control-Shift-F for that, and you can find out where you can figure, or you can find where you can get it. So like here it looks, this renderer method comes from the scene widget, so you can try to get the scene widget from the client. Basically, if you have, or if you don't have probe.js, which is a mod here, if you have this, what it does is it dumps out all of the functions you can use for Cube inside of a .probe folder. And so you can search through that to see, you know, what methods you can call from Cube. And then you can use that to try and do what you want. So in your case, the FOV thing, you search for that and you just try to use it or find how you can use it. Cryptic is stubborn. He won't let me consume him. Interesting. I don't really comment much on any videos in generals, but you are doing a great job, both coding and entertainment. Side note, you made me start watching MHA. Well, it's a good anime, so I'm not sorry for that. Also glad that was helpful, Riot. But yeah, having the .probe .probe folder is good for you to try to find the functions. It is a little difficult to try to track how to get some of the values. But again, if you just keep doing a full file search, or I guess folder search for the things you're trying to find, eventually you'll find methods that you can use, and you can just attempt them. But just pay close attention to your error messages. Okay, so let's see. We need to give I think it's default value next. So we'll do a default value of 1, which that might get mad, actually. I don't know. And then we need a description. The description is going to be the amount that power stock, or that the power stock user will increase their their stored power, I guess. I don't know. After add, I don't know if we need any more properties, actually. The increase amount could be enough. I actually don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest. So we're going to do first tick, which you just have to... honestly, I don't even remember how I figured out how to this. I might have looked at... I have no idea, actually, how I figured out how to do this. I might have looked at someone else's add-on who's done it, or I might have asked a question in the... what's it called, the 3-tag Discord. But basically what we're doing here, if I close this, we're trying to set the first tick method to a function call, and this function call has access to the entity, the entry, the holder, and enabled. If we look at the Java for first tick, we can see it matches. So this is me creating an ability directly from the Palladium ability, okay? So the first tick method has living entity, entry, holder, and enabled. So we're basically saying we're mimicking that. So entry, holder, enabled. And we're saying we want to pass this function in and use it for first tick. So we'll check if it's enabled and if it's a player, because if it's not a player, we don't care. Actually, in this case, we do. We'll accept it if it's a mob, I guess. I kind of go back and forth on whether or not I want this to be compatible if you give mobs powers, but that's something I'll fix later. I'm really trying to find any kind of way for my stuff to stand out compared to others, such as RGs, which I keep getting compared to. Yeah, it's kind of hard. So that's why I tried to do MHA. Well, I tried to do MHA because I thought it was cool. But I'm trying to do everything I can to also to stand out, because I just don't want it to be a collection of random Palladium abilities. I kind of want it to be as custom as it can get. And I'm definitely making it custom. I'll say that. It's taking forever. But... so here we check if the player has the power stock ability, which is fine. Actually, no, we can't check for this because we want them to be able to... We want people to be able... I want to be able to call this function if someone loses power stock. Because the way that it's going to work is if you lose power stock, you're going to lose your energy. So we're going to have to be able to call this guy either way. So we're just going to check if it's not enabled. And if it's not, we'll just say return, which means just skip it. And I think for now, we're just going to... let's just do something simple. So we're going to do let scale growth equals to... We do entry.get property name, or by name, property by name. We pass in the name of it, which in this case is increase amount. And then we need to, we're just going to try to print that. So we're going to do console.log, and we're going to say first tick power stock growth, and that's going to equal, and I use the double brackets, but in cube, if we use the, I don't even know what this is called. I'll be honest, but it's the key that's above your tab key. If you use that, then it allows you to insert variables using the $sign with 2 curly brackets. And so this is basically saying parse the value of this into a string. So in this case, we want growth. So we're saying first tick power stock growth, and then we pass in the value of the variable growth. And that should just write it out to the log. We could have a tick function, a last tick. We're going to need those eventually, but we're first going to test to see if this actually works. My guess is it's going to get mad about this because I haven't been able to make the add property work with anything besides strings. Well, I mean, besides UUIDs too, I guess, but yeah, we're going to try it. It might, well, no, it needs to be float though. Well, it doesn't matter. Does it? I don't know. Let's see. If we close the game and restart it, we'll see right away if it's going to be bad. The grave key. Yes, it's the same. But it's shift and the grave key. So it's I don't know what that's called. I can just Google it. What is, like, that's bad that I don't know what it's called, but honestly, it's fine. What is this called? It is. What? It doesn't say. Why isn't the first search telling me what it is? Yeah, I know what the tilde is, but I don't know what is this? Punctuation? Period. It's not an apostrophe. It's not in this list. Excuse me. Wikipedia? Where are you? Grave symbol. That's called the grave? Oh. It is called the grave. I thought, oh, this is tilde. Ah, well, okay, it's the grave symbol. I'm stupid. Whatever. Just ignore me. It doesn't matter. First, let's check the log because this would have told us if the ability that I just added was junk. So we scroll up and look for red errors, and that's a good error. That is a regular error. That's a regular error. I think these are all regular, but it might not call it because I forgot to call it. So let's go to this. Let's go to power stock. Let's move this to the side for a second. And we're just going to make a temp growth. And this is going to be... Actually, oh wait, actually, hold on. We can just look at the documentation that gets generated. Mods, where is it? Mods, documentation, palladium, abilities.html. We'll grab this. And that opened in the wrong tab. 1 second. Let's go over here. Abilities. Blind your eyeballs. Mine HA, power stock growth, icon title, bar color. Here we go. Increase amount. Integer. Oh my gosh, it worked. By the way, you can also see here, these are 3 things. You notice I didn't define stamina, first cost, or interval. I didn't define it inside of here as a property. That's because I've gone through and had my library mod. It actually goes through now and registers all of the stamina values with every single palladium one, palladium ability. Again, sorry for the flashbang. So like all these palladium ones, if I go to it, they all now have stamina, first cost, and interval, thanks to my library. So that's pretty cool because it allows you to basically use all of the original Palladium stuff with my stamina system. And they all default to do nothing, so you don't have to worry about it. But I thought that was pretty cool. But it does show up, which is good. Shiv is getting dramatic because of the flashbang. Will this add-on have suits or no? I don't know if it's going to have suits. Maybe if I get someone who's good at doing that sort of thing. It's going to have some like mutation quirks and stuff like that. Okay, power stock. Let's see. So we're going to go type and our brand new one, mine HA, power P stock growth. We're going to give it a title of just test. Don't need a description. We need hidden equals true, but hidden underscore in bar is equal to false because we want to be able to press it. And I'm going to do a conditions and then enabling. And this is going to be a type of a Palladium action, I think. I think I need to do keybind, maybe. I always just go through and copy paste because I always forget what it's supposed to be. Boop, there we go. All right, so now that should have an ability that we can just check. All right. It's regenerating some of the probe stuff. We don't have to worry about that. But if I do /reload, I think should get an ability. There we go. Test. So the way that we test to see if this is working, remember I just put a console log, so we have to check the log. So if I just press this once, we should see inside of the log. There we go. First tick, power stock growth 1. So it's already working. Yay. That's great. The first thing I need to do though, I need to check, because if we do body me get float chest, I need to make that so it gets all of them, because I already forgot what it's called. But if I set it, so if I set float chest, give it a key of p stock underscore stored, and we do a value of 0. If I do that again and again and again, it should only do... Okay, so that should be fine, actually. Wait. No, that's not fine. Add. Uh-oh. Actually, it shouldn't matter, because if I get it, I'm pretty sure it returns 0. If I get something that doesn't exist, it returns 0. So if I do this, it returns 0. Okay, we're good. So we don't actually even have to do anything in the what's it called? We don't have to do anything in the power.json, because we should be able to just access everything here. So we have the growth, right? What we need to do is not first tick. We need, actually first tick, we don't need to do anything. We need a dot tick. And I think I'm not supposed to have, yeah, I'm not supposed to have a, whoop. The tick function is going to be kind of the same thing, same deal. We paste this, and we do this, and then this. And again, we need to check if it's enabled or not. Which, if not enabled, then return. But this power is always going to be enabled if you have it, so we don't have to worry about that. But we're going to grab the growth here. And the growth can be positive or negative. Positive or negative. So we don't really have to worry about things. Actually, if it's negative, though, we need to make sure it doesn't go below 0. Need to make sure it doesn't go below 0. So we're going to do, if I do body, I already forgot. I registered a thing in here. Oops. Instead of this guy. Body status we can use directly. So if I do body status dot, you may be wondering, what can I do with body status? Well, here's all of the functions. We can do custom statuses, which we don't really care about the status in this case. We only want the value. So we're going to search for float. I think there's a is part broken, destroyed, get custom. Here we go. Set custom float. We need to pass in the player, the body part name, the key, and the float value. And all this does, basically, this is redundant now because of this guy, but it basically just stores the value inside of the capability. And if you don't know what a capability is, I can't really explain it. Think of it kind of like a variable to the player that just gets saved all the time. So when the player spawns in, they have a set of capabilities, and those capabilities are kind of like scoreboards where they store information, but they can store more than just numbers. So we're going to do set custom float, because again, it's this function here, and we need to do pass in the player, the body part name, the key, and the that. So the player is going to be an issue because, okay, so this, we're just going to do or entity, I think actually not instance, so we do parentheses this, entity instance of player, server player. Can I do that? Because it does have to be the server player. If it's not the server player, it gets mad. So let's see here. Oh, we do is player. But I feel like this would work, actually. We'll do this. Entity.isPlayer. All right. So this should mean that they are a player. So we'll pass them in entity. And again, the body part name. So this is going to be chest. The key is going to be pstock_stored. And the value that we're going to set is the growth value. Oops. And actually, we don't want to set. We want to add custom. We need to actually add in an add. Because we could do a set. But that's dumb. Well, because we'd have to get it and then we'd have to add it. Which is 2 calls as opposed to 1. Let's just make sure it works. I'll replace it later with a... wait, so let current equals body status dot get custom float. This one I think is also entity chest pstock_stored. I think that's all it needs. Yeah. So this will return. Well, that's string, but this will return a float. And then we do current plus. Actually, we got to see if current plus. Sorry, I am in the zone. That's why I'm not reading your messages. Hold on. If this is greater, because we don't want it to be. No, if it's less than 0, then we do something else. We do something else. If it's less than 0, we want to set it to 0. If it's not, we just add them together. And that prevents them from going negative in their power level, which I don't want them to do. We'll just set this to 0. And otherwise, we set it to growth plus current. All right, that should work. So now every tick that this is enabled, it should increase our power level by 1. Let me restart this and read your chat messages because, again, I was not paying attention. Boop. Well, because Shiv was just spamming, I just had to not look. Thinking about developing my own mod that uses abilities. How was your experience between Palladium or been with Palladium, and would you recommend it? I would recommend it because it is relatively easy to add your stuff. It has a little bit of a learning curve, but eventually I'll have like a Palladium tutorial that you could follow. But it's been fun. It does drive some people insane, though. How many people are Apex Plus members? I don't know. Probably none. I think that's a joke tier. I don't expect anyone to ever become an Apex Plus. Yeah, it's got a lot of good systems, but it's also fairly new, so a bit buggy at times. As all coding is, it can be frustrating, but still cool. Must not be disturbed or the mod will implode. I don't think that's going to happen. Apex Plus is a joke tier bet. Yeah, it is a joke tier. Because no one would spend that much. No one better spend that much. My goodness. Alright, so here we go. We're going to do body, me. Oops, me. And then we're going to do get, float, chest. And then the key is pstock_stored, I think. This is 0. If I hit this key... Oh, we crash. Whoops. Okay, so that's great. I don't like that Modrinth. You have to shake it a little bit to get it to work. All right, let's see. What is the problem? Player being ticked. Yeah. Reference growth is not defined. Really? Did I just misspell it? Oh, oops. My bad. See, that's something that IntelliSense could have caught, but there is no IntelliSense in VS Code for stupid cube scripts, which is so annoying. All right, try that again. No one saw that. No one saw those errors. They were fake. That tracks with what I've been hearing. Yeah. Chat is in game. Wow. I'm one of the people it made insane. Yes, you are. Actually, I don't know. It has its quirks, but I haven't had like too many issues with it actually. I've understood it pretty well. But I think it's just based on your ability to kind of learn new things and kind of understand coding concepts, I guess. In theory, if one was to spend that much, what would happen? The mod exploding? A great reset? Who knows? I don't know what would happen. Probably someone would get a cool color Discord role. Actually, additional question. Oh, you're asking him. Any way that you have found to add more than 5 powers in one ability? That's one of the reasons I haven't looked into. What do you mean add more than 5 powers? Do you not see how many I have in here? Look at this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Is that what you're talking about? Because there's... And you swap it. Oh, are you talking about the keybind thing? You're talking about this. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Boop. You're talking about the ability bar? So yeah, if you hit X, it cycles through automatically. If you... and there's ways too, you can change which ones are available if you really wanted to. You could set up an ability that just toggles everything, but I don't know. All right, do we think it's gonna work? Let's grab that command again. Body. This is a long command, but get float chest p stock underscore stored. It's currently 0. If we hit the 1 key, we didn't crash. I thought we did. Hey, look at that. It went up. So if I hit it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now if I just hold it, because it's a tick, actually it's an action, so I can't hold it, but I can spam it. Boom, 22. And this doesn't use any scoreboards. Why is that better? Because scoreboards take a little longer to access. Also, you need a bunch of commands to access them and to do stuff with them, and it's just so much easier to use a capability like this. Oh, wait, we got to see if it saves, because sometimes that's an issue with the capabilities. They don't save. So 27, if we leave and we'll go back in, we should still have 27. I should have copied that command. Get float chest p stock stored. Copy that. 27. Now if we kill ourselves, let's see if, oops. Let's see if that works. Because killing yourself actually also, I had issues with that not working correctly. Because capabilities are actually per player instance. So me, I'm a player instance right now. Like I'm my own unique instance. If I were to die, it's going to create a new instance of me, which means new capabilities. So what you have to do is you actually have to clone all of the capabilities from the old player into the new player when they die. I think it's also the same for switching dimensions as well. So if I go to end portal here and go into the end, and then check, should still be 27, and it is. Perfect. Speedrunning the game. The percentage of the... wait a second. Do you see what I see? Did that just... hold on. Because your stamina should go down once you die. It just takes a second to load. If we go back to the end and then back... interesting. Ooh. That's not good. if you go from one dimension to the next, or if you go from the end dimension back here, it actually doesn't, it doesn't copy over the capabilities for anything. That's annoying. Infinite stamina? Well, no, because it resets everything. It's essentially a stamina reset. So if I did slash BQL me debug, our stamina went to 100. It defaults to the default values. So it's not an infinite stamina. It's it's you don't have any stamina glitch. That's interesting. Let's see. So we have to actually fix that because that's a way bad bug. I think it's in the handler. Yeah, so here is where we do the player cloning. If the event.is was death, this is where we have to check if they died. Or this is where we check if they died. But we want to do event dot So there's only an is was death. So how do we get, because we can do it on the player logged out we saved. Because this is where it's resetting it. Okay, so that's not great. I thought there would be, I didn't realize that player cloning is not just, let's see, player events. So we have clone. Player changed dimension event. We should see if this is getting called actually. Because basically what I need to do is make sure that it's not only cloning it when you die, but also cloning it regularly. Which actually, I think if I just do... Okay, we're going to try this. We're going to launch this guy. We're going to try... we're just going to see if the error's here, which it should be. But then I think what we can do is just move all of this clone stuff from inside of the is-was death to just outside so that it's cloned whenever. Is there a limit to how many powers you can give a player? No, there's not. There's not a physical limit, but there could be a limit when it comes to running it and having it like lag. If you have a bunch of powers and they are all like calculating scoreboards and running all sorts of commands all at the same time, you're going to run into maybe a little bit of lag, especially if you play on a server. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any problems. It only lets you activate 2 keybinds at a time. Yeah. That I didn't actually know. All right, so if I do /bql dev debug, we should have a lot of stamina. Okay, we don't. So if I set block into the this end portal, I'm gonna go back, hit that escape key, reset to 100. Okay. So that has the bug. So let's do actually, I think we can just, okay, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna move all of this out of the is-was death because I think in the is-was death it does it all the time. But if we move it outside of here, all we're doing is reviving the player in order to save their stuff. So let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I think this is going to work. It does just need to rebuild the jar file for the library. Boop, boop. Okay. See, it even when it does that reset, it resets the initialization too. So you lose all of your progress completely, which is not good. Let's do, you can see this, right? I know big, yeah, there we go. Okay. Debug. 120. Set block. This. End portal. Then we go back. Check. Still 100. So that was not enough. Apparently the clone event does not get fired, which is not good. Not good, not good. Let me take this back. Put it back into the is was death. Boop. So apparently the player cloned is... Actually, I should see if it's getting... Maybe system.out. Actually, I have a logger. And it's forge.logger.info. Clone event fired. We're going to see if this event is being fired multiple times. You're probably going to have to make up your own sound system just for your speedsters. What do you mean by that? Because you can add your own sounds. Oh, and you can play them too at different, just monitor for different events. Oops, I forget you can't see full screen for some reason. Gotta use the windowed mode. All right, so our check here is to see if going in here calls the event. So let's see. Let me pull up this. Did I run it yet? Boop. Hold on, just checking this log. I don't think we ran the clone yet, so we're gonna first do a /kill. Because that should run the clone event. Wait, it's when you respawn. Yeah, okay, so when I respawn here, we can see the clone event was fired. So we're gonna go into the portal. And that should have actually saved everything. BQL dev debug. Yeah, that did save everything. So if we go in here, boop. That did not fire the clone event. But if I leave, which I don't know why there's no portal /set block. This. End portal. Clone event fired. So it is firing the event twice. Or at least when they come back. So that begs the question, why didn't it work? Why didn't it reset everything? Or copy everything? I'm thinking your ectoplasm clone idea. The palladium looping sound ability doesn't work correctly. Even if it did, it still doesn't work correctly when moving too fast. Oh. Well, you can just add your own ability then. On Discord, by the way? What do you mean? I'm here. Wait. Can't you set sounds to stream to the server? You can. With a command. Alright, so this is being called here, but it's not cloning correctly, which is so dumb. So do I have to... What if... Okay, this is kind of drastic. What if I do this? And just do an else? Oops. This seems complete overkill. but we're going to try it. Because it wasn't a death event. So, and I don't know if we need invalidate capabilities. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I don't know. Let's find out. But you can send it on the server, but locally. You can set the position of the sound. Any calling to when the mod will be available to the public? No. The only thing I can say for sure is that a lot of the base systems are now finished, which is what was slowing me down before. And so once I rework all of the quirks that I have into the new system, then it's just pure progress. You know what I mean? Do we think that saved? I think it did. BQL dev debug. We have 189. Let's head into that portal. Move. Boop. Still got it. It's funny that it deletes the portal, actually. / set block. This. And portal. Not looking good. So it calls the clone event. Wait, it didn't this time. Aw. Wait, it did. It called it, but it didn't. Oh! Duh. I know what it's doing. I'm so stupid. Okay, so we needed to copy over, right? So then why am I resetting everything? Yeah, not a good idea. Current stamina we have to set to the old store.get current stamina. The exhaustion. Old store.get exhaustion level. Last raw. Old store.get last raw used. Stamina cooldown. Regen cooldown. Old store.regen cooldown. That's why it's not working. Come on, guys. Why didn't you tell me that was there? Sorry, people. I can't. Guys is gendered. I can't say that, I guess. Y'all is not. I'll use that. Increase your stamina by 1. Why? When you set a position, you move too fast and move away from it before it finishes playing. Well, then just place it in front of them in the direction that they're running. Or just do it at the... Well. What you could do is you could spawn or play it in a range. So just starting where they are, do it and play it to every entity that is within like a 10 block range or whatever. Or however big it needs to be. All right, 66 stamina. Let's head into the portal. Wait. There it is. Let's head into the portal. Shoop. Let's head out of the portal. Shoop. / BQL dev debug. Oh. I thought I had it for sure that time. Why isn't this working? Do I need to invalidate? Guys, I thought I had it. Definitely not. Sometimes the end portal bugs out player stats. Usually fixed itself after the stats update. I don't think that's going to work for this. I don't think that is causing the problem. I think it was... Well, I know it was the fact that I was resetting them. But we got to see if I need to revive them again. I'm hoping I don't need to revive them. Because that's just dumb. 72 stamina capacity. Head into the portal. Whee! Boop. Head back into the portal. Boop. Not looking good. Body of debug? No. BQL dev debug. It's resetting. So you potentially say that the using of it makes it work. So let's use 1 and check. That's not happening. Okay, so let's try to revive the player. Maybe we have to revive them for some reason. Boop, oops. Boop, boop, boop. If this is the case, I don't know why we need to have this. I don't know how often the player is cloned, but only you hear the sound now, as I needed to play as a master so you didn't run too far since it's looping sound. I also don't need it to keep playing to whoever heard it while you're gone. No. Is it the else? No, the else is, it's calling the else because initially I had it just to check for when the player was cloned after they died. But apparently the clone gets fired not when they die, but also when they go from the end to the overworld, which I guess is, oops, sorry, which I guess is comparable to death. Not sure why. Boop, 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 boop. All right, 147 stamina capacity. Let's jump on in to the portal. Please work. I can't do this. /BQL dev debug. 147, yay! /kill. That also works. All right, so we're just gonna get rid of the else or the ifs condition. I guess we're just gonna play it whenever we want. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't get called a lot. Wait, no, we need the else. Beep, beep, beep. Back up, back up. We need the else. This, though, we need to do this and put that there because it's common between the two, as is the invalidate capabilities. We'll throw this on the end right here. Boop. And we can delete it here. Boop. And delete it here. We need the else because if we don't have the else, it will try to reset the current stamina. Because when you die, I reset your current stamina, your exhaustion, and your hurrah stuff, and your cooldowns, and all that junk. But we don't want it to do that if you are alive. So we gotta do the same exact thing for the other capability I have, which is the body status capability handler. So again, same thing. We take this, put it here. Actually, wait. If you die, it resets all of it. So actually, we don't care about that. We just don't check if you die. We just do it all the time. Like this. Because this one doesn't have specifics. If you die, it's just going to reset all of your body parts. Reset them all. I think that's good. So let's... I don't even think we need to push play. Let's just build it and test it out. I think it's going to work. Oh, blah, 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 blah. See you later, Shiv. Trippy Venom. Yes, thank you for supporting with that heart emoji. Hope I'm not too late. Can I get briefed on what's been done so far? Well, fixed a bug. You'll see here, once I update the library mod, builds, open in Explorer. Build, libs. Here's the fabled library that you guys can't have. Go back into mods. We paste it. This is Forge 0.1.0. So we're going to rename the other one to 0.1.1 because all my texturers were complaining about the fact that all of the versions were the same and they apparently couldn't tell which one was which, so I'll just go and label it by hand because I'm too lazy to figure out how the auto labeling works. But basically, Pacquiao, we're going through and we're changing the power stock, and so it's no longer going to be using scoreboards to track how much power you have stored up. It's going to be using my brand new body system. So we have 73 stamina capacity. If I go through here, hit this ability a couple of times, this should increase my body or my power stored. So if I get float, chest, piece, stock, stored, 14. If we go into that end portal, which we'll just do slash set block, this, end portal. We go in here. We just go back. This should not have reset that, which it didn't, and it should not have reset our bandit debug. It did not reset anything. Perfect. Let's go. It works now. Yeah, so now we have the ability to store power inside of our chest variable, basically. So what's next? Well, we need to actually increase it, right? Time set day, game rule, do daylight cycle balls, slash game rule, do, stop it, do weather, false. Set noon because I like it sunny. All right. So we need to make it so that the power stock actually ticks up, or your power actually ticks up. So is it up here? Here we go. So temp growth. So this is the old passive growth, and you can see it uses this really gross scoreboard command. Ew, we don't like that. So instead, we're going to do passive growth, and I'm actually going to do passive growth 1. We'll make it possible in the future, I think, to increase your power stock energy through an upgrade. So like it increases more. We'll test that. So we don't need a title. We don't need this or this. Actually, we need this because it needs to show up. Yeah, okay, fine. We'll do this. Title, passive growth, growth. Just like the old one. We'll even put it in the same position as the old one. And the condition, we don't need the commands. The conditions, it's not this. It's not a key press. But we're going to use this, which is a custom condition I added, which pretty much only becomes true based on this percentage. So this is a 1% chance every tick for this condition to be true, which then translate to you will gain 1 stamina at a 1% chance, basically. So if I wanted to increase this, this is pretty much how fast you are going to grow your stamina. So that's cool because you can apply it to, since it's a custom condition, you can apply it to any ability that you want. So it's really useful if you have anything that grows over time and you want to control how fast it grows without specifically, saying. And also adding a little randomness makes it so that you can't predict it, which is cool. We're also going to add in this tag, which it won't grow if you have full cowl on. And I do that because I feel like it just makes sense that it doesn't grow with it. That's pretty much all. So then we can delete this condition. Again, removing that scoreboard, which is really good. We do need to add in the variable for the growth, increase amount. So, or the property, I guess. So increase underscore amount, and we'll give that a 1. So it's going to be 1 for now. We could increase it to like anything we want, basically. It doesn't really matter. So if I do a slash reload and we just give it a chance to work, if we just kind of periodically check this, 22, 23, 24. Look at that. Our power is now going up. You can see it is very random. There's only a 1% chance. So this might have to increase. But now it's as easy as just, you know, increasing that one value. Okay, 1 seems really, really slow, really low. Okay, 1% seems really slow. So probably let's increase it. We can increase the amount or the percentage. We're going to do this to a 5% chance. That should be 30, 33. Okay, that's quite a bit faster. Yeah, we can always increase it in the future. I could also make this configurable, actually. We should probably do that, huh? Probably should do that. All right. I don't necessarily want to make it configurable, but you probably should, huh? You probably should. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. All right, fine. Whatever. This one is not going to be do I want it to update in real time, or do I want them to have to restart the game to change the config? I kind of want them to restart the game. Because here's what I'm thinking. If we're constantly checking like every tick or whatever to get the config value, it might cause some lag because it's a file read. And file reads are laggy. So I'm thinking it doesn't do that, and it just checks it at the start. So we're only going to do it once. So we're going to do let power stock gain equals config.get config, and we're going to need to pass in a value. This is going to default to 0 here, and what we'll do is we'll check if growth equals 0, then this means use the config value. Otherwise, use other passed in value. All right, so now if growth is equal to 0, then we set growth equal to the power stock gain. And again, this is only going to read it from the config once and then store it, so that should be fine. So the config, though, we actually need to define. So let's go here. Let's just make a new file, and we'll call it config values.json. We're going to have this run once. I think we need to stick it into startup events, actually. So I think I have a startup here, maybe? No, I have a startup here. Player events, server events.loaded. Okay, we're actually going to put it here. We're not going to have a config values. And it's also not JSON. I don't know why I named it that. We'll put it in here. So we're going to do config.set config. I think. I got to remember how to use this. He doesn't remember how to use his own system. Sue him. Read chat, sorry. Do you think it would be worth it to add a system for someone to hear a whoosh when a speedster runs by them, or does it not really matter? I mean, it's all about the detail that you want to put into it. Yeah, it really depends. If you want to have that detail, then go for it. Would I add it? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. It would depend how much work it is. If you want to do the learning experience, then I would say have them hear it. Otherwise, yeah, you can just have it for the person using it. But if one runs by already sprinting, you won't hear anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone that's actually done that. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't pay attention too much to speedsters. But it would be cool if you heard them run by, I would say. If you want to make another anime character into your add-on as a quirk, who would you pick out of any other anime? I don't know. Probably Gojo or something. Restart is the better choice. I don't know what that is referring to. Okay. Config, set config. I just realized. Oh, here we go. Check if a config exists. This is what we need, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. Or I haven't actually used this. I made all of the methods for the config stuff, but I've never used them. So has config, we'll do mine HA dot power stock growth. So we'll say if it doesn't have it, right? So if we don't have it, then we need to set the config value. So we're going to do config dot set config of mine HA dot power stock growth. And it probably should be power stock dot growth if I'm being realistic. We do set config. So this, the value, and then the description. So the value is going to be 1. The description is going to be the amount that it powers the, what is this ability? What's it called? Power. What did I call this ability? The P stock growth ability. The P stock growth ability will increase the stamina, the stored power per activation. Because it's not per tick because it's random. Boo. So this should be, we'll do a console.log that says set the config for the power stock thing. Ting. All right, so now if we restart and log back in, this should potentially do it. I don't actually remember if this is how I do config. I know I set it up, but I never actually used it until now, so gotta test it. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be mad because then I'll have to fix it. Oh, is there even going to be a speedster in this one? I don't know, actually. There might be. It seems like there's always a speedster. Why not Noctis from Final Fantasy Brotherhood? Because I don't know who that is. That's why. You're doing it. Good job. But because I think the extra detail would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool. Maharaga's adaptability. I mean, but that's just boring, though. Becoming immortal in Minecraft, 1, is easy anyway, because you just get a totem farm, right? And 2, then just nothing can attack you. Like, battles are pointless. So, like, here's an example. I was on the Heroes SMP a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and there was some fighting, of course, but someone had the ability of regeneration, and they maxed it out. If you don't know, NBC Heroes regeneration literally lets you heal all damage, and if you were to somehow die, you don't actually die. You just go into a puddle of blood and then regenerate yourself from that. So what people saw was that there was no way to fight them. Like, there was no point in fighting them because there was no way they could win. And so I want to try to stay away from infinite, like, immortality like that. Overclock would be kind of classify. Would kind of classify as what? As Maharaga's ability? Ah! Can't find method. Config helper dot get config. Oops, I never finished. Also, look at that. Boop. Didn't do that. All right, growth. This guy here, we need to get this value. And I think get config has a fallback, doesn't it? Or no? That might have been something else. It does have a fallback. The fallback we'll do is 1.0. Boop, 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 boop. Technically, this is a float too, so we could have power stock go up by point something. I don't know why you would want that, but it's possible. Did this generate a config yet? I don't think so, because it'd have to be server loaded, which it didn't get to. BQL dynamic configs. Okay, so there's nothing. So if this works, this should show up when we open up the world. We'll find out. I've added an immortality thing in my add-on pack, but with it, you have to be in combat taking hits, and you'll get stronger and stronger until you become unkillable, unless they kill you first. I mean, as long as they have some sort of chance to kill you at the start, then I would say it's fine. But, like, if you just go into the battle immortal, I think that's something that I really don't like with a lot of mods that do it, is you just go into the battle knowing you can't die. And it's cool in that moment, but in the whole of thing, or in the whole scheme of things, it's just lame. And if you're not in active combat, you start getting weaker. Okay, so I kind of like that concept. That's pretty neat. So here we go. We loaded. Can't help but notice the dynamic configs file is empty. Let's open it up again, because maybe it just didn't reload. So it appears this did not work. Let's look for, in my console, set. So we did run it. We did run set the config for power stock thing, which means it should be there. Why didn't it? It should be put into dynamic configs. Why? Generate a config template for your add-on. Okay, we could try this, actually. Let's do this. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember literally anything, because I implemented this. I tested it a little bit, and then I forgot. So, yeah, power stock. Power stock underscore growth. We'll set this to 1.0. Delete these. This is going to be add-on configs. And then this is going to be add-on config descriptions. Power stock growth is going to have the same one as this guy. Boop, paste like that. It uses JSON because my thinking was that people use JSON better because they're doing the Palladium stuff, so that maybe it should work, I guess. I don't know. So this will now be this. Power stock growth. Instead of setting it, we're just going to see if it has it. So has it, else doesn't have it. Nah, man. Not here. But then we have to do... Unless it's... No, I don't. Is it mine HA or is it mine HA? It might be that. I don't remember. Oh, but it's with the config template. So if we go like this, and then like this, mine HA, and then we pass in add-on configs and config description. So what this should do is generate that, but we're gonna find out. Boop, boop. Adaptation could work based on damage types. Ranged melee magic, you'd only be able to adapt to one at a time, and even then, it only goes up to a 90% reduction. True, 90% reduction though could be really difficult to get over. It's currently in heavy beta. What did you miss? Currently trying to get the config system that I made to actually work because I've tested it for like the main library, but I haven't tested it for add-ons trying to do it. Okay, so we have, there we go. Config info actually got fired this time, or BQL config. Set the power stock growth equal to 1, and we should see, here we go. Wait, no, that's not it. I'm not actually seeing, unless this is glitched out. Oh, it is glitched out. Yeah, we'll just check to see if it's in here. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it generated this. Boom, let's go. Wait, a second. Did it delete the... It totally deleted. Wait a second. There was stuff in here before and it deleted it. Is that good or is that bad? That might be bad. Well, we're just gonna hope it didn't. Yeah, we're gonna hope that this didn't. So, because my fear is that it completely rewrote this file, because there was like that test stuff in there. So if it did rewrite this, that means if you have multiple add-ons, they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. And I don't like that, because then that means only one person could win. One add-on would win. I don't have a second add-on to test. If I did... one of my textures is making a second addon, so I'll make them test that. I'll make them use the config and then test to see if it works. So I don't think it ran again, though, which is good. BQL. Yeah, it didn't run again. Did it run again? It just loaded. Yes. Okay, so it's not... So yeah. So I think, hopefully, the way that it works is it generates the config of everything, and then... Ooh, it's definitely not going to work like that. That's definitely not going to work like that. It's definitely going to conflict the whole time. Okay, so I'm going to fix that. We're going to... Hold on. Let me go to GitHub. Make an issue to say that I'm dumb and need to fix that. Issues, new issue, bug report. All right, so what's the bug? Well, dynamic config. Dynamic config system will not work with multiple add-ons. All of that. This is library mod, actually. Oh, wait, this is a library issue. Well, hold on. This is a library issue. We got to go back to this one, not pull requests. New issue, blank issue. This is a bug. Dynamic config system will not work with the multiple add-ons. Description. Enough said. I don't know. Create a project. This one. Label. Bug. Lib. All right. Create. All right, now I'm not going to forget to fix it. Because that's definitely something that I would do. Forget to fix it. But it works for one add-on, I think. So if we come here and we go minehshay, and instead of power stock, we do power stock underscore underscore growth, growth, and we get the config, we fall back to 1. So if we dynamically set it to, we'll just do 10, because that's going to be very noticeable. And then we set the growth equal to 0 inside of here. So if I go down to passive growth 1 right here, if we set this increase amount to 0, this basically says use the config. And actually, we'll say, yeah, we'll say it to 0. It could be -1. Let's do -1, actually. Well, no, because I could go, 0. We'll just say 0. 0 is the default. All right, now if we restart this, we should be able to see that it's using the config value, which should be 10, a tick or whatever. I have an idea of an explosion quirk isn't done yet. You can make it stock sweat limited amount for a move or to power up all moves. Yes, it will. The upcoming explosion quirk will have a stock or have a sweat storage, because it'll be pretty much just as easy as. I just had another idea. If I make a generic ability that increases a value. Oh no, side quest has been found again. Oh well. All right, if this is working, it should spit it up by 10 every time. Let's see. Place your bets. Mods, make a poll. Get, float, chest, P stock stored. I could be wrong, but I think that's going up by 2. I think that's not right. Wait a second. This is set to 10, and this is getting it. So it should be getting 10. Is this not right? I think it is. Oh, wait. No, that's the same. Why is it going up by 2? That's like not even... It's not even close. Like, there's no 2 here. This is how it goes up. Control F. Actually, it's probably going up by 1 is what it's doing. Let's see here. Loaded dynamic configs. But that doesn't say what the config value is. So let's do this. Let's add into the power stock. If you guys voted that it wouldn't work, congratulations. You like doubled your money. We'll just do console.log dub using config value of, oops, and again, let's use the grave symbol. Learned a new word. I'm so proud of myself. Power stock gain. This will say if we're using it or not. And it'll say what it is. Our exclusive variation when having one for all, it powered the explosion. So one for all, or power stock, which is the ability that we're working on, is going to scale everything. Every quirk, if you have with power stock, they'll scale. So yes, you'll be able to do bigger explosions. Boop. All right, place your bets again for a second time. Is this going to work? Actually, we already know it doesn't work. We're just seeing why. So this thing should be going off every now and then. Using config value of 1. So the get config is not working. This isn't working. It's defaulting because it can't find it. Why can't you find it? Why can't you find it? It's right there. If I scroll down to the config helper, boop. This guy here. If we do get config with a default value, calls the get dynamic oh, wait. No, wait, okay. Get dynamic config returns dynamic configs.get with the key. So is the dynamic config not filling up properly? Because this should, yeah, .get or default, which is, I think it's defaulting. So let's do this. Let's do this without the default value, and this will tell us if it's defaulting or not. Good thing I tested this out before giving it to everyone else because it doesn't work. Figures it wouldn't. I can't do it perfectly. So unfortunate. Perfectly the first time, I should say. I don't know why YouTube emails me to say that I'm live on my own channel. Seems like a waste of an internet message. All right, single player. So this might crash. It might not. We'll see. Is it paused? Yeah, open this up. Oops. All right, so now we're calling null. I spelled value wrong. Which means it is not working for some reason, which is obnoxious. Because we call the get dynamic config, which should read this dynamic configs map. And this is just a map of all of the strings to their value. This guy gets stored with the put, or the set, which is here. Set dynamic config. These should all be good. Set dynamic config, we can see if that's being called. Maybe it's not. Oop, this is spamming the log. Knock it off. Set. So the fact that that's not, it should be saying set dynamic config this equals this, which it's not doing. Save load. Am I calling the load anywhere? Usages. Should be. On server starting, load configs. Server starting, loading dynamic configs. Loading dynamic. Okay, so we do run that here. We are actually running it, which 419 something. Where is that at? There's so many 419s. Where? That's example. I should have looked at the timestamp better. Hold on. Dynamic. Okay, now it's just not searching. There we go. Loaded dynamic configs. So 419.39 is where we need to go. Let's go there. 419.39 here. So prepares a spawn, then when the server's loaded, it checks, or it runs that first tick command, loaded dynamic configs, then server started. Oh. All right, so here's the problem. Okay. The problem is that here I get the config just at the top of the file, right? So this means it's loading it's loading it's loading basically when this event is loaded. And this is loaded in the startup events, which is ran when the game turns on. Unfortunately, the loading of the dynamic configs only happens when the server starts. So this is checking for configs that haven't been initialized yet, which means we need to move this. And I think if I put it in the first tick, maybe it won't be as sad. So if I do power.gain equals, we'll just say 1.0. And then here we actually get that. So we do power.gain equals the config. What this will do is it will check if this has been initialized yet. And we do have to give it a default value as well. So we'll give it a 1 because otherwise it'll be null if I mess this up again. So what this should do is when the game turns on, it checks for the config. Or not when the server turns on and the power is ran for the first time, it'll check for the config value. And by then it should actually be loaded. Because if we look here at the first tick, so here is where it says dynamic configs. Power stock safety system initialized. Oh, that's a different thing. I think. Yeah, that's a different thing. We don't have a thing to say when the first... Okay, so let me do this. Console.log first tick of event. Hopefully this happens after that. I don't know. Pretty much we're in a race condition here where the configs haven't been initialized yet before we try to use them inside of this power. And it's causing problems because if the config isn't there and you try to save the value of it and use it, obviously it's going to have an issue. The problem is, too, we can't really see. I mean, we can see now. We should see the first tick is after. So loaded dynamic configs is here. What we should see is the first tick thing fire way, way, way later. Oh no, is it not way, 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 way later? Where's it at? Use your eyes, find it. Where's Waldo? Unless it hasn't even ticked yet. It has to have ticked. Because we're logged in. It might not have ticked. Hold on. First tick of event is what we're looking for. It might not have happened yet because it hasn't happened. Okay, so that means if I push this and then check. Okay, that did not do it. I'm a little confused. Oh. So here's the problem. It's calling first tick of event only, or every time it becomes enabled, because I forgot that it becomes enabled That's annoying. Which means it's well, no. Hold on, hold the phone. It might not be as bad as I thought. If I check the git command, right? The git config helper. If I run git config, it calls git dynamic config, and it's doing a .git on the dynamic config's hash map, which is an O of 1 operation. If you don't know what that means, it means it just happens right away, which means there's no file reads, which means it doesn't matter. So I can just do this. We go here, boop, boop, boop. We don't even need to do this. We just literally grab this, get rid of this junk, and put this right here. Boom. It won't affect performance because I've already coded it to be performant. And I just forgot that I did it because I did it so long ago. Which means if we just do this, it's fine. It'll work. This will work perfectly. Perfectly. Watch, watch, watch. Slash reload. I think that's fine. So if we check this guy, slash body me get float chest, chest piece stock underscore stored. Come on, come on. Look at that, it's going up by 10. It went up by 20 there because it just ticked twice. So ignore that. But yeah, that's working now. So it should default to 1, so I can just change this to 1. If I do slash reload and then I do slash bql underscore or bql config reload, this should reload the thing. So it should go up by 1. Went up by 2. It's going up. There we go. Goes up by 1. Boom. It works. I'm a genius. Okay. That's great. So I did code it correctly. I just forgot how to use it. Or never used it before, actually. It's quite impressive. So config, we can delete this stuff. Boop, boop, boop. So yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken if I'm being honest, because I don't know, but this seems to be, at least I've never seen any. I don't want to take credit for it, but this seems to be the first add-on that I have seen that has a fully functioning config like system to it. Like where add-on pack developers can go in, they can add in their own config values and change them in game, like right away. I think that's pretty cool. And again, I don't know if other people have done that before. I just haven't seen it, so I'm gonna say I'm the first and then never fact check myself so I can live in denial. Let's see. We'll say config registered the first time. Config detected not registering. Is the generate conflict template, does that one go through and actually... It's one more thing that I don't remember. If generate conflict template checks for the flag file. Generate conflict... Oh, generate... Am I not in the helper? I'm not in the helper. Here we go. Generate config template. Only runs if .delete to reload dynamic commands file does not exist. Which it does. So we can do this. Boop, boop, boop. X. Paste. Backspace. Delete. There we go. And that just puts everything in. Load all of the config to... Yeah. Yeah, this totally isn't going to work with other mods, though, which I got to fix. Well, let me stop and start this again just to make sure it does work. Play. Pat on the back. Thank you. Can you think of a way to test this command in single player? Execute. Oh, here we go. Whoop. So this guy asks, or girl, Riot Gnome asks, is there a way to test this? Execute at s scores equals your color, run, play sound, whatever the sound is, neutral. So what do you mean? Test it. What you could do is you could have it, instead of executing it at a player, you could give it in a looping command block and change the command so that it is just positioned at the as them. Or you could use an armor stand. So summon an armor stand and give it the score that you want. And you could have a looping command block that runs this command as the armor stand. And then you can run by it to see if you hear it. That's what I would do if you don't have friends. If that makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't, The distance things prevents it from playing on you. Well, yeah, you run past it. You're welcome. See, I'm just so smart sometimes. Sometimes I'm very, very dumb, like not knowing what the grave key is. But other time... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I knew something was amiss. Power stock gain is not defined. Oops. I like how I said that and then I... Oh, wait. Delete. Most times you're very, very dumb. Excuse you. I'm not mostly dumb, right? The amount that power stock user will increase the sword power. If 0, use dynamic config file value. Change that before I forget it. Yeah, I like how it crashed after I said that. Grave is the apostrophe right next to your 1 key. That's not an apostrophe, it's a grave key. They're two different things. Apostrophe is next to the enter key. The grave is gravely more important. It's always like that when you need it. If you are dumb and then come the shower of thoughts. I wanted to make either a Soul Eater mod on MC or a Soul Eater game on Roblox. Roblox, you would make more money if it's good. Just saying. It's not the same symbol. They look different and they do two different things. One is at a 45-degree angle and one is at a 180-degree angle. Or a 90-degree angle. Alright, it doesn't crash this time. Let's go. Config works. All that for a single feature. Replacing the stored power. Now, there's another problem, which I will get to in a second, because I'm going to have to... Gotta commit all these changes. What did I change to rot? Oh, I fixed the capability handlers. Fixed a bug with the capabilities that prevent happened on... I'll just say that. When leaving the end, it didn't save ability correctly. Commit and publish. And actually, we don't need to publish just yet. Okay, then we'll go to the add-on and all this junk in here. We need to unselect all of it. The leap ability, power stock ability, startup, powerstock.json. All these. Changed power stock to use new body system, kind of. Okay, just committing my changes, aka saving them. Scroll, 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 whatever. All right. Next up. So we have this functioning, and we have the dynamic config junk functioning. We don't need to look at that. So the next thing to do is to make the leap ability actually use the stored power. Because right now, well, it still uses a scoreboard for the timer. But right, it doesn't have any, like... it doesn't have any reference, actually. It just uses the percentage stuff. Keyboard warriors are quaking in their boots. Does the leap only go vertically, or is it based on where you're looking? Now it's based on where you're looking. I changed it. See, look. Oh, we're gonna blow our leg off, but pew! And you can go pew! And you can go pew! 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 Uh-oh. Pew! 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 See, isn't this so fun? It worked first try. Good job, Riot. I'm glad my testing method was able to prove you right. See, because now you can jump up, which is really cool, I think. Right? The fact that your leg just disappears is funny. Well, I broke it, you know? That's what happens when you use 1,000,000 power. Whee! Let's go into the air. Me when I'm fighting Overhaul, and oh, the water stopped me. Eh. Get it? Because he just jumps into the air. Whee! Whee! See, I think that looks pretty cool. Maybe some red particles when you lose a limb would be cool. Ugh, you're all about the aesthetics, aren't you? Jeez. But yeah, I agree. I just don't have, it needs particles. I agree. I will add them, just not right this second. Because I'm too busy having fun jumping around. Whee! 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 Are there going to be blood particles for when you're like... Everyone's complaining about the blood particles. My goodness. Yes, there will be some, I guess. Oh, maybe I should make it leak. Should I make it leak blood out? No, it'll just explode. Anyway, we need to change... You know what I mean? You'll make the 2 texture artists and you're... Yes, I will. Alright, so we need to change some things here. Because this is still using the scoreboard for some of the abilities, specifically the full cowl abilities. We got to change that. Because what I did for these scaling, or for the scaling of these, there's like 8 full cowling abilities. Here we go. Full cowling thing, speed. So I added in a p-stock attribute modification ability, and this you pass in what the type of ability is. I don't remember why I did that. But you give it the attribute that you're going to do. In this case, it's the speed. And you give it the base amount, the scaling type, and the maximum value that it can reach. And in the background, it uses p-stock attribute modification. In the background, it uses the scoreboard. So it'll pull from the... It pulls from... Oh, I guess it uses the functions from these calculations. Get safe power threshold. It's pulling from the safe threshold scoreboard. The stored power, it's pulling from this stored power scoreboard. So we don't want to use the scoreboards anymore. In fact, we don't even need to use the username because we have the body helper. So if I use body helper dot, and I already forgot, power stock abilities. Body status dot get custom float. So we're just going to copy paste this so I don't mess it up. Boop. And we pass in the entity, we pass in the chest, and we pass in p-stock stored. And that's literally all we need to return here. We don't need the player name. We don't need any of that stuff. We do need to say player here, because they are a player. And we don't need any of this. Literally, that's all we need to do now to get the stored power. And so now automatically, because I use the function here, and we don't need to look at that. Where's decay, damage, leap, startup, power stock abilities? No, where's the, did it close the stupid P stock? Oh, it's right here. It is open. So now here, when it does, it doesn't even call it. What? It calls the calculate scaled attribute, which I guess is probably something in here. Boop, 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 boop. Calculate current power usage. Get stored power. There we go. So it will pull this. So this should now, instead of using this, if we do body, bandit, heal, all, to magically fix my legs, if I activate full cowling now and hit, not F3, go into survival mode. Oops. I think it's a little severe. Okay. All right, only taking a little bit of damage. Ow. Is this using... Oh, wait, no, it's in hold on. Because it's in the ability, we have to do a slash reload, or turn off and turn back on again. My bad. Get back in your room. Every bug can become a feature, yes. What do you plan on doing with the telekinesis you accidentally made? Well, I've used it already and as an ability for something, which I'm not going to say until the devlog, so you at least watch it for some reason. But I'll probably use it more for... There's ones that have telekinesis. It was mostly for like a grab sort of deal, like a chokehold. And then it just turned into telekinesis, but it should be pretty good. Why did you crash? Hello? What happened? Why did you do this to me? Cannot find method set custom float. See what happens when you copy and paste. Get. We should also probably store the full cowling percentage inside the body too and all these other things, which we will once we load this. It's been a few weeks. Yeah, I've been, like I said, the whole reason it's taking so long is because I've been redoing everything from the ground up. Not from the ground up, but basically from the ground up, you know? So, and I've added so many different features for add-on developers to use and stuff, so that took some time. But it's getting to the point where I'm working on the abilities again instead of full-time on the library. So I plan on doing, I'll tell you this, I plan on doing a devlog when I have... Excuse me? Why did you just break? All right. Hold on. Let's do body, me, set, float, chest, P stock, stored. If we do 10,000, it should scale the full cowling percentage thing. Maybe. Wait. No, that's not how it works. Because I can't test it because the dumb thing uses... Okay. The full cowling is still using the other board, so I have to completely redo it. Ugh, annoying. Anyway, I was gonna say, once I finish the reworks for all of the quirks, and I'm gonna add in one new quirk, and then that's gonna be the devlog. explaining all the new features. And I'll probably do other sub ones to show the examples of how to use the library. Correct. The algorithm is not going to like me. I thought about making TikToks for it. That would be, I'd probably get more engagement. What is your end goal for the body library? Compatibility with other Palladium add-ons. So it's not just the body library. The library adds in a whole bunch of stuff. It's obviously adding in a bunch of custom abilities and custom conditions too. It's adding in the body system, so allowing people to assign values to body parts without using scoreboards. It adds in a stamina system that uses basically, it's a common stamina system that everything can use and all existing Palladium add-on or Palladium abilities can use. It adds in config, meaning add-on developers can generate their own configs and use them, so making them configurable, obviously. It adds in support for fancy menu, meaning people can easily make their own GUI elements using fancy menu, because fancy menu just allows you to literally like drag and drop and make these cool elements. So this library allows you to, one, it gives you more features to fancy menu, but two, it also adds in the ability to package your GUIs with your add-on, which wasn't possible before. Yeah, those are pretty much the main features. So it's more than just adding the body system. Also, unfortunately, it only works for Forge right now, because I'm going to fix that, probably. But you absorb the thing like gold mimicry, but you can mimic anything. Where's this? I don't know what you're talking about. How's your baby smoke screen looking? It's pretty much the same. Smoke screen isn't going to get a change. I think it's done, basically. But it's getting textures and stuff. All right, I need to go through and edit all of these to use the new body system. We have a config value here, which also need to move these to config. Min safe power, min max power. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, so get safe power threshold. Gets the current safe power threshold from a scoreboard. So what is this? Control Shift F. That's getting it. So here we go is where we set it. The safe power threshold for a player based on their max stamina. So this is how I determine whether they are, what the safe amount of stamina to use is. And then it stores it inside of a scoreboard. Now, why does it do that? Is it because why do I do that? I'm trying to see here. Also, I add it in two places. That's not good. All right, so this get safe power threshold. I get the safe threshold here. So I don't know why I store it. There's no reason for me to be storing this. Yeah, it's only internal. So we're going to change this. So instead of storing this inside of a value or a scoreboard, because there's no, I don't use it for anything. I thought I used it for the coloring of the stuff, but I don't use it in PowerStock at all. So we're just going to delete it. We're going to do boop, boop. And we're going to do this. We need to change to get the safe power, which is just going to be the current and the max power. Well, wait. How does that work? I got to remember how this dumb system works. It's been so long. Safe threshold is equal to that. What do we set? Set the safe threshold equal to the maximum of the minimum safe power and the whichever one of these is smaller, which is the max safe power or the max stamina multiplied by the safe power multiplier. Okay, so this is basically saying up here we have this config for the how much power is considered safe to use based on your stamina. I completely forgot that's what determines how much you can use. Okay, so your stamina determines how much power you can use based on your, or how much of your stored power you can use. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of messages. Hold on. Basically, Kevin 11. Wait, the library has persistent fancy menus? Yes, it does. The mod is not out yet. Sorry about that. But yeah, it has fancy menu support. So what you can do is inside of your add-on, you just have this folder. You add this folder called fancy menu, and you can ship all of your layouts and your variables with this. And my library will automatically, I guess not automatically, but you have to call, I think in here we go. On fancy menu, I have this set up fancy menu files. And so this will run, or you call this, and then it moves everything from your fancy menu folder that you put here into the correct config folder. And that allows you to ship them. Because before there was no way to do that because it goes in the config. It's supposed to go, or all the fancy menu stuff is supposed to go in the config folder for fancy menu, which makes it incredibly difficult to ship. So I had to do some custom stuff for it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, now I know what this is. Safe power threshold. Safe power is determined by the max stamina times safe multiplier. All right, so we need to get the max stamina. So we do stamina dot. I don't know why it says get max stamina. There should just be stamina. Unless there is a get max stamina. Get max. There is a get max stamina here, which we don't need to call that anymore. We don't need this whole function because we use our new stamina thing. So instead of get max stamina here, and we're going to have to find stamina. So let's do Control-Shift-F for get max stamina. Power stock. Here, max stamina, we grab it. So we can't do that. We have to do stamina dot get max stamina for the player. I believe that's the correct thing. I'll have to go back here and look. I need to make a documentation that I can use because I don't remember. Stamina helper. Get max stamina. Yeah, there's a get max stamina here, and it's just stamina. Yep. So I did that right. So this pulls out the stamina perfectly. We don't need this get max stamina function anymore. And I don't use it anywhere else, so that's good. Do you plan on making a beta test? There's going to be an alpha test for channel members. Yes. The beta, so the alpha is going to be for members. I will release the mod in beta on CurseForge, but like once it's released in beta and I'm making changes, the members will get to beta test things before everyone else does. So if you're a member, you'll have access to it before everyone else and get to test the newest features. But I will release the mod on CurseForge in a beta state eventually. It won't be full release until at least one beta release on CurseForge, just so I can make sure that there's no other problems. in case the channel members are bad at finding bugs for some reason. Hello, Jason. How are you? All for One is going to be in here. Don't worry. There's definitely going to be game-breaking bugs. I haven't tested this at all in multiplayer. It's not going to go well, which is why only a few people are going to get access to it, because it's gonna be rough. Also raffles, yeah. Not off the top of my head, there's not plans for muscle quirk, but eventually there will be one. Break the servers every 2 hours, yeah. Well, no, I said maybe you won't find it. I don't know. You should totally ask Arzi to try out your add-on when beta is available. Maybe. You know, we're like best friends though, basically. We hang out all the time on the Heroes SMP. So yeah, I'll just slide it his way. Nah, he's just busy doing his own stuff. If they pick it up, if it's good enough to be like a, if it gets to the point where it's big enough, I'd probably try to start like a SMP for it. And invite all the people from like the Heroes SMP or whatever. Because that would be pretty fun. You just finished making All Might suit and it's cool. Well, I don't have suits, so I guess you're better than me. So here's another confusing thing. Because I couldn't get these to work, I had to have 2 separate things. So there's 2 copies of everything, which is really, really annoying. This is really annoying. So this one is inside the add-on. So the add-on folder, this one here. Okay, so we're focusing on this add-on one first. Or the Potato Boys with Kelios. Kelios says he watches the devlogs, I think. Yeah, he said that. He said it looked cool. You should totally try to see if he'll let you join his enhanced SMP. I think I'm good. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to focus too much on this if I'm doing more SMPs. I mean, I'd like to work with him in the future, but... Or more than I already have, I guess, but... I don't know if I could dedicate everything to another one. Are there any servers out there that run MBC? I'm not answering that question. Then we'll get hungry for updates. You're already starving for updates. Okay, you need to stop distracting me. So essentially, the safe threshold is going to be return stamina dot get max stamina. Is it better to even check for this? Because this makes the safe threshold. Okay, yeah, well, we'll calculate it here. All right, so we do the get max stamina for the player, right? Then we need to multiply that by the safe power multiplier. What this will do, and we can just delete this. Although, wait, do we need to see what min safe power? We could just add this to it. So in that case, yeah, let's do this. So basically this is saying the safe power that you can use is 1,000 plus 200 for every stamina that you have, max stamina that you have. That seems reasonable, right? So for example, if I had 10,000 stockpiled power, let's get out the calculator. If I had 10,000 stockpiled power, the safe amount of power that I can use would depend on subtracting 1,000, because we get 1,000 free. So we have to have 9,000 power. So we divide that by 200. You would have to have 45 stamina. 45 stamina in order to use 10,000 power. So that's fine. 50,000 power. If we subtract 1,000, it's 49,000. Divide that by 200. We need 245 stamina. I think that is not good, because you can get 245 stamina really easily. So let's do 1,000,000. So 1,000,000, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, minus the free power, divided by 200. You need 5,000 stamina to use. Maybe that is fine. I don't know. We'll make these configurable, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. We'll think about that. All right, so that's the get safe power threshold. Get stored power just returns the stored power that you have. Get full cowling percentage. So right now the full cowling percentage is stored in the scoreboard. We can't change that at the moment, so we're going to keep that. Calculate current power usage. Calculates the current power usage based on your stored power and FC percentage. So we grabbed the stored power, we grabbed the FC and the safe threshold. The current power usage is multiply the stored power times whatever percentage it is, divided by 100 to make it a percentage. So for example, if we have 10,000 power and our FC percentage is 5, we do 10,000 times 5 is 5,000. 50,000, my bad. Divide by 100 is 5,000. So that's 5%. Wait, is that right? We have 10,000 stored power, and we multiply that by our 5% power, divided by 100. Yeah, so 5,000. I was right. Boop. Oops. Divided by 100. Anyway, ignore that. So we have the current power usage, and we check if the current is over our safe threshold, which it shouldn't be, and we see how much over it is by subtracting the two, and we also calculate the safety percentage, which is just the power that we can use, so this determines the color, basically. And then the overage percentage is how much over we are from the safe threshold. So then we return this whole big object, which just has everything in it that we could possibly need. Check power usage safely. This is to see if the level is good, and if not, we need to damage the player. And this uses the severe, major, and minor, and these are just percentages. So if we scroll up here, these 20% is minor damage, 80% is major, and 150% is severe damage, which is really bad. You don't want that. Apply damage based on level and ability type, obviously. Then return those things. This is just telling you how much damage. Otherwise, it's just saying the damage. And then, let's see. That just gives them that. So we actually don't even use this. Wait, do we? Oh, it's setting the amplifier. Okay. Sorry, I did this so long ago. I'm just going over. So basically, the way that the damage works is depending on how high over you are, or what the damage level is. I grab these, but we don't use these anymore, so just delete them. But we pass in the damage level, because if we look at when we call this, we call it up here. Basically, if the damage level is anything other than none, we're gonna apply damage to them, and we can get rid of this because we don't need that. Boop boop. Basically, if it's minor, we're going to give them the effect of power stock overuse, which is a custom effect that I added that just damages your body parts. And so then we set the amplifier of it to be whatever the damage level we're at. So if it's severe, it's going to be 21, I think. So that's how it damages you. So let's do this. Backspace. Let's clear out all this junk. I got rid of these because it spammed, or the messages would spam. So that's fine. Now, calculate scaled attribute. This should be the same thing. It should use the new stuff. This should use the new stuff. This is just using different types of math equations to determine how much the attribute should scale. And this just shows the that. Okay, so that should be good. I think then with this change, it should be enough to test it. Because I know we have this event here, but these are for everything in the data package, but I don't think there's anything here that is needed. Maybe damage events, but I'll see you later, Oni. Do I prefer anime or manga? Probably the anime. Could you show us how the stamina usage works with other palladium add-ons? Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that. I can show you that here in a second. Once we turn this on, make sure that it works. So what this should do now is it should be scaling our full cowling off of the, or just crash. Because, let me guess, I either mistyped something or when I deleted something. Safe power multiplier is not defined. You know what? You know what? It's right here. So why? Why? It's literally right there. Add-on pack. We gotta see what. Oh. Come on now. Line 36 in power stock calculations. Oops. So maybe I didn't spell it right. Safe power multiplier. That's because I have to do this. I have to do power stock config dot. Whoopsies. Am I looking forward to the Demon Slayer final arc movies? No, because I don't watch them. I haven't watched Demon Slayer. Is there a condition for chat XP? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about Palladium or Twitch chat? KXD Scythe just uploaded a new video called The New Best Superhero Mod. Guys, I gotta see what this is. Hold on. Hold the phone. KXD Scythe. We gotta see what he did. That's crazy because he's not. This is crazy here because he says it's the best, the next best superhero mod. Who gave him access? Who gave him access to my add-on?
My name is Kid King J, whatever you'd like to call me, and welcome to my
Guys, we have
second
to see
ever
what...
review video. And I'm with Del. Very early access to it. Said that you wanted me to review it.
Wait, is it Delt's mod?
That I have been given early access to. My friend.
Oh, it's this mod. I would have access to this one too. I didn't. Haven't had time to go over review it. I've played with it and it's really cool. You should check it out.
Max absorption is 4.
It's the let's see here. It's the what is this called? I forgot what it's called. Wait, he didn't post what the video... Okay, well, he didn't post it. So, hold on. Is it this one? No. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Here we go. The Gifted is what it's called. It's a pretty cool mod. You should check it out. Exactly. What a weird version of my add-on. It's so strange. All right, is this gonna crash again? 225 XP. The XP for the chat is random. Like you have to be talking every 30 minutes or something like that. I wonder how he got his access. I told him, though, he could have access to it, actually. And do reviews on it. Alright, so this is level 1. If I do body, me, get, float, chest, piece stock, stored. This is 10,000. And it's only giving me 1 heart. So see, that something doesn't seem right. If I do 20,000? Okay, there we go. 20,000 got me 1 thing of armor. If I go 30,000? 100? Oh. Hold on. I think this is bad. So this only gives me 2 hearts. I think it only gives me 1 extra heart. Okay, so this isn't good. It's not working. The power scaling is supposed to use this, and it's not really. Because we have to have 1,000,000 XP. We have to have 1,000,000 power in order to get... Wait a second. Oh. I'm just dumb. We have to scroll the percentage up. The full cowl percentage is only 5. Wait, why is it severe? Oh, wait, what's my stamina? Slash body... No. BQL... set max... Let's do 1,000. There we go. There we go. We should be able to access this. Yeah, there we go. Scroll. Got to increase the scroller. All right, so 99% of how much power? 20,000? So at 20,000 power, you can go full cowling to get... How many? Give me steak. Cooked beef. Munch. So this gives you 2 extra armor bars and 4 extra hearts to full cowl at 100%. So that's pretty good. Let's do 30,000 or 40. Let's double it. Give it to the next person. We can still use it at 1,000 stamina. I think it's 1,000 stamina. Are we up 1,000 stamina? I already forgot. Debug. 10,000 stamina. All right, so let's do 80,000. We get... Is this still safe? We are still safe. I can't see because the thing is in the way. Skip to the good part to do 100 million. Look how fast we swim. plus this. Whoa. I think this is... Fill body in... I still think this doesn't... Okay, wait. Let's see if we can save... Dang it. I think I have to have it reset our fall distance. Boink. Because otherwise we're going to die. Even if you try to save yourself, I don't even think you can save yourself. Because even if I... Watch, if I go like this and go up in the air, and then I go down, but then like sideways. Even if I go... Oh. Hold on. Like even if I go... Ooh, I'm trying to get... I don't know. All right, someone said... So let's go to 150,000. All right, we're still safe at this percentage. Scroll, 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 scroll. 99%. So that gives us quite a bit. Someone said 100 million. Let's do 1.5 million. Oh, look at that. I might need to change the scaling things. See, okay, so you're not doing infinite damage. If I grab a dummy, give me dummy. We're only doing 11 damage. We need to get into the... I need it to actually be painful. I think the scaling is bad. Oh, it is not bad. We have overuse now. Roll down. Okay. So something is not working. Boing, boing. A little weak, no? I don't think so. Because this is, what is this? It's like 5%, right? 5% of a million, 3 million power. Just give me dummy. You don't have power. So this does 4.6. 1989? I was not born in 1989. So this is 4.6. I put a cap on your health. I think I also put a cap on the damage. No, I don't. 16.1, but we have overuse. Jill, I'm not overusing. Stop. Make it go away. Make it go away. Stop. Okay, I think something's wrong. 1889. Ow. Okay, so that's not working very well. It kind of works, but it doesn't also work. Pew! Hi guys, it's me. Pew! I love the leap. Yeah, it's definitely not calculating the safety percentage correctly. Because, let's see, a million? Well, wait, it would say down here. Safe or unsafe? Oh, wait, no, that's not what it checks. Oops. The scroll thing uses a scoreboard. Because it runs this command. That's what it does. I forgot. So if I run this command myself, see it shows safe. So the command is not running correctly, and that's because I think it's in the data folder. So if I go into custom commands, and we do control F and do this, here we go. This uses the update FC percentage display, and this is being called inside of the data folder, and we can see that this doesn't match. It doesn't match. Do that too. So we got to go. We have to change this. Get current power display usage. We have to make a duplicate of this because this basically has to match this, which is really dumb. So if I find this guy and do this and this. Wait, this isn't right. Bup, 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 bup. I'll see you later, Riot. Thanks for stopping in. I'm starting to suspect there might be bugs. Arm falling off is not because of power stock. Oh, okay. We're about to hit the 3-hour mark. Ooh, you know what that means. All right, so stored power, we can't grab like this because this is grabbing from the scoreboard. So we got to do body helper dot body helper dot what? I hate that I can't have global. What's body status? I can't have global things, global functions that work in both the data and the add-on packs folder. It just doesn't work like that. Get FC percentage. That's using a scoreboard. That's fine. Get the safe threshold. We need to have it actually get the safe threshold. Which honestly, we should just store. We should just store the safe threshold inside of the body, and then we can access it without using the scoreboard. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I should make a list of all the things that I need to store in the chest. Where's my obsidian? Obsidian. Boop. So, new. Things to store inside the body. No, BODY. We already have the stored power. Can I make this bigger? Control plus? I can't. We already have the stored power, right? This is stored inside of the chest. We need the full cowling percentage. This is going to get stored inside of the chest as well because it applies to all of them. We need the safe power threshold. The get safe power threshold. We need to store that because we have to check if it's safe in multiple files. So threshold. Oh, also I should probably say what it is. This is pstock.stored. Or is it underscore stored? It's underscore. Okay. So then this one should be pstock underscore FC underscore %. And this one can be pstock underscore max safe. We need. I get the best thing probably would be. Oops. No, stop it. The best thing would probably be to look at the power stock scoreboards that we use and see which one of these we can get rid of. The FC animation, we'll leave that as a scoreboard. Percentage, got that one. Regular percentage? What is this used for? Why do I have 2 of them? I don't even use it. Why is it here if I not use it? Oops. Control C, Control V. I literally don't use this, but it's still here. Okay, get out of here. Get evicted. Smash cooldown. That can probably get stored in the arm. In one of the arms. Leap charge. Smash charge. Safe percentage. FC animation. Smash cooldown. Leap charge. Okay. So some of the charging things we can put in there too. That doesn't really matter. Where is Derp Toothless? He's hiding. He was taking a nap today, actually. Let me see if I can wake him up from his nap. He's not going to be very happy about it. He might be very, very sad. Oh, you woke him up. There's two of them. Hey, look, hi, we're friends. I got it. He's back. Now's my chance to get on the leaderboard. Exactly. Go for it. Spam those comments. Okay. So we have, and we did just hit the 3-hour mark. So I'll try to finish this up, and I think I'll end it for today. So yeah, we need to store all these. So let's go back to the events, because this is where we did the change, right? Or is it in calculations? It's in calculations. Calculations. Here we go. So we're doing get stored power here. We need to do the same thing, but setting the power. So whenever we increase the power, we need to increase our safe percentage. And that's actually inside of the power stock ability. So here. So we set the custom value, right? But then we need to update. We need to update here. Dot set custom float entity chest, and we need to do piece stock underscore what did I say? Piece stock FC percentage or percent? Well, no, max safe is actually the one we care about. And we have to actually calculate the value that's safe. Which we have to calculate. So let's safe percentage equals, we're going to have to use the config. So config.getConfig, and it'll be mine ha dot power stock underscore safe power multiplier, I guess. Safe power multiplier. So that'll grab the safe percentage, but we need to multiply this by our max stamina. So we'll do times stamina dot get, whoa, stamina, knock it off, VS Code, dot get max stamina of the entity. And we set the save percentage like that. Oh, well, that's on. The save percentage we don't really actually care about too much. There's no reason to be running this. Well, no. So we could either update it here inside of this power stock ability, or we could update it whenever the stamina is updated. Which the stamina is not. So we have to check it here. Okay. This add-on with Alien Evo would be pretty funky. Imagine a stockpiled forearms. So it wouldn't. Okay, when I say it's compatible with every other Palladium add-on, I mean like they can, the add-on developer can integrate it with the same systems. So it's not like it'll just automatically scale everything. Like automatically, they would have to add in support for it. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, save this. But you can still use multiple palladium add-ons together. Yeah, you should be able to. Mine shouldn't conflict. Yeah, you can do that. It's just that it won't scale the correct things. It's like if you have power stock set to 1,000,000 power, it's not going to make 4 arms. Well, actually, no, it would. If you activate 4 arms with full cowling, then it would stack. Then it would stack automatically. All right, so yeah, save percentage here. Boop. So now that it's saved, we need to put it inside the config, but we also need to access it here. So safe get safe power threshold. So here, instead of doing max stamina of this times this plus this, we... Oh, I forgot the plus. Bloop. Plus config.get config of mine ha.powerstock_safe_min. There we go. All right, so now if we do the body status.get here, so instead of recalculating the safety percentage, we... Where did it go? Here it is. We do this, and we do get custom float of pstock max, or pstock. Okay, so now we get this, and that should work for that one. We still need to do the full cowling percentage here. Because we did this, full cowling percentage, but we need to add in the, we need to add in this. Whoa. Well, both of these actually. So head over to the startup, which is here. And it's as simple as adding this. We say the safe minimum value is 1,000. And power stock safe multiplier is going to be 200. So those should just work. We will need to add in a config or a description for them. So we'll come to the end of here, add a comment, do this. The safe minimum is the minimum stocked power the player can use without consequences. And this one is going to be, whoa, the amount multiplied by, oops, the amount multiplied by stock. Am I muted? No. Multiplied by max stamina to determine the safe usage limit. think that makes sense. Oops. So we have those config values, and this automatically will generate them in as long as I delete the delete me file. So in here, inside of BQL, there's this delete to reload. So we just have to delete that and it'll regenerate this. And so that's calculating the safety percentage, and we're using the safety percentage in this calculations, which is good. We also need to use it inside of the events here to get the safe percentage, because right now we have the safe threshold is equal to that, so we just do this is equal to this, and that now uses the same safety threshold for the full cowling ability as the other one does. It uses the correct body status, or the correct store power, and the correct save threshold. Which should mean now, unless we look for safe, I'll just look for safe. Those are all good. That's all good. Good, 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 good. Here we go. Calculate safe power threshold. This guy, we just return the same thing. Safe power. And I don't actually know why. Oh, player. Use player. Oh, it might be mad up here actually. Because I didn't use player, I used entity. Scroll, scroll. Oh, where did it go? This uses player. This uses player. Although I don't know why I don't use the get safe threshold method. Safe power threshold. We'll use that. There we go. And now that should be good, I think. So let's give it a run and see what happens. Boop. I don't think that would work. Symbiote, Stockpile, Omnitrix, Lantern Ring, Viltrumite. Yeah, that might not work because I think the secondary abilities might be conflicting. Try fusing them right now, actually. Interesting. All right, single player. Let's see if it launches. It should have recreated the config file, which it did. There we go. So all of our config values are stored in there perfectly. And this should work. I don't remember what we were testing, but let's charge this baby up. Oh, we crashed. Cool, cool, cool. Entity is not defined, so I accidentally copied and pasted that in power stock calculations 35. My bad. I don't know why I copied entity. Player. Let's do a quick search for this to make sure. Okay, player. All right, try again. Boop. It'll be interesting to see how mine works with every other add-on. I won't actively like test for it, but if you guys do it and find anything, I'll have a section in the bug, because I plan on when it is in alpha and people are testing, to have a special Discord channel for all of the bugs that you find, which is going to be a lot of them. Okay. So let's activate this. All right, this doesn't work anymore. It's kind of working. It doesn't show the percentage thing. The command /mine HA show percentage. Yeah, this is erroring out. Where's the console? Here we go. Does it say why? Or does it just crash and not tell me like it likes to do? It crashes and doesn't say anything. So the mine8j command is screwed. So we'll go to it. We do this. Let's see. Power stack abilities, or is it going to be in commands? Custom commands. It's in here. So we have this mine8j thing. Checks if you have power stock and then runs FC percentage display. And this gets the current power display. So let's check that this method's working. Scoreboard. It gets the percentage. It gets the stored power, which should be good. Safe power threshold. It grabs that. And it should do everything fine. And return this. I don't know if it's returning though. Or we know it's failing in here. So I don't know if it's failing here or elsewhere. So let's do power data.fc percentage. Maybe we could throw this on a try catch and maybe it'll catch something. I don't think it will, but exception. Is it this? Exception E? I forgot my try catches. Hold on. Control Shift F, try .ts. Oh, it's catch and then error. Like this, error. And let's just put everything in here. And this, what this will do is basically tell us what the problem is. If it is an error here. If it's not, then it will, then we know it's in something else. But we'll do console.log of the error. All right, one last restart. Oh, well, 2 more restarts to go. So my favorite game, Titanfall 2 is my favorite. I love the story of it. I loved the gameplay until, of course, it no longer is really too playable. They did all the custom server stuff to make it fun, but it's sad. It should have been a better game and should have gotten a sequel. I mean, trequel. Whatever. 3rd game. All right, let's try that. mine8j show FC percentage. So it should spit out an error. Get safe power threshold is not defined. I thought this was defined. It is not defined. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Oh, we just, I thought it was defined, but guess it's not. So we'll just grab this. Well, it is. Wait. No, it's defined up here, but it's not defined down here. Power stock events is where it's not defined. It's calculate safe power usage. I hate how cube is just so annoying. Oh yeah. So it goes to here. Here. Boop. This needs the player. All right, that should be good. You didn't hear it? I said Titanfall 2. Ow. Oh, you've never heard of it before? Well, it's always on sale for like $3. It is good. It's got a really good story. Okay, let's see. Last time's a charm. Show FC percentage. There we go. And we activate full cowling. Boom. We're safe, 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 safe. There we go. Miner at 69%. If we go down below that, it should get rid of this. But it doesn't. Does it get rid of it if I do this? It does. Okay, so I think what the problem is... the problem is that I give them the negative effect in here. Is it in here? Where do I give it to them? I give it to them... Calculations, I think. Yes. I give the effect here only when their ability... Or only when it's applying the damage. It doesn't get re-cleared when they lower it. And so it's infinitely there until they... until they shut it off. Which I don't want to do. So we have to figure out where this is called. This is called up here. If damage level is not equal to none, else we'll just clear it. Yeah, we'll just clear it here. So that's going to run every tick, I think, but whatever. That's going to clear the problem. I think I can even slash reload and this will work. Did you already select the people from the most recent dev form? Oh, no, not yet. All right, so the idea is if we go up to 70 something percent, 69%, we get bad, we go down. It didn't clear it. Okay, let's go back up to 69. Nice. 67, we're good. 69, we have the effect. 67, doesn't clear power cycle reuse. Okay, so that could just be because we do it here. I'm actually going to instead in the power stock JSON in the scroll down ability, which is change up, change down. We're going to do it here. Execute. Oh, well. No, we're just going to do effect clear at S. Is it effect clear or is it dang it. Effect. It is clear. Whoa, it's there. Hold on. We already use it here on the shutdown. So we grab this. And we come back up here. And we run this. So basically we're now saying if they scroll down or up, actually if they scroll down, because it doesn't make sense if they scroll up. If they scroll down, it'll get rid of their effect, their overuse effect. Because the idea is that if they scroll up into a bad level, they get it, but if they scroll down, it will heal them from it. All right, this should be the last thing, and I think I'll be done for today. I did not get anywhere near finished, or near to where I wanted to be, but that's okay. I got pretty close to a good section. I got it. The rest of what I'll be doing is mostly deleting a bunch of old stuff and then working on the smash ability. All right. Oop. Okay. We did die there, but that's probably an accident, right? Let's go up to 67. 67, we're fine. 69, we're bad. 67, we're good. All right, so now if we stay here, that's where we start taking damage to the limbs. So you can see my arms are busted. I accidentally just ran into the void. Uh-oh. Ugh, come on, save yourself. Okay, so don't be overusing full cowling. You'll just die. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. Ooh, look at me go. So we have this. We have a better storage system of the stockpile stuff, which means we will be able to delete more reliance on scoreboards, which is really good. I'll probably have to add in commands that fix the or that allow you to easily change the percentages and stuff, because the body command might confuse people, but still not on the leaderboard. But what you can expect, what I'll be working on that's not here on camera, is I'll be fixing the I'll be tweaking the percentage more of this thing, because I think it's still not great in terms of, oops, we can't do it on the ground. It's not great in terms of the scaling. It doesn't scale properly. Also maybe tweak some of the damage bits. I don't know. But this thing will actually work better. Uh-oh. All my limbs are missing. This thing will work. I am pretty close, yeah, but there's still a few more things, and then also cosmetic things that I want to change too. But then also got to work on all of the power smashes and make sure that they're functioning. Also, maybe some texture changes as well. This is funny that you can just fly around like this. It is in creative mode though, so yeah. Yeah, if you're, I think I have it set up so if your head takes fatal damage, you die. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for all keeping me. What does this do? Oh yeah, this is the smash ability. I forgot about this. This is the one that doesn't work. It actually only does damage to things. Hold on, let me go over here. Whee! Blub. Blub. Is it on cooldown? I think it is on cooldown. All right, here we go. We'll see how much we do to the dummy. Full power. 35 point. Oh, I blew my arm off. With 35 damage. I think this one does... What does this one do? I don't remember. Yeah. Okay, that one. Uh-oh. Yikes. Made a hole in the iceberg. My bad. Alright, well, that's it for today, for real. Bow. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. Oh, whatever. Quick question. Can your add-on library detect which part of your body an enemy's hit? It can't yet, but it probably will in the future. I just have to learn how to override the hitboxes. Alright. Okay, I'm leaving for good now. Bye.